All right, here we are. It's 8:03. I bet we are on your computer right now if you were to look.
We certainly are. The Power Hour. KFAN.com/watch. All thanks to Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. And they just refreshed the new weather forecast, Hawk.
Yeah.
73 the highs. We dropped down into the 70s.
And we're supposed to get some rain pretty quick, too, right? I think when it changes, we are going to get some, and we need it, man.
And Zach, I saw you tweet yesterday. Look, my youngest daughter is 10 and a half, right? So the Halloween clock is ticking, right? Maybe a couple more years, and she's going to probably say, I've had enough. There's been 3 or 4 Halloweens in her Halloween run that have been so just disastrously cold. You can't feel your fingers after trick-or-treating after about 15 minutes, and you're like, God dang it, this state sucks for Halloween. I saw you tweet yesterday. It's projected to be like, what, in the high 50s or something for Halloween?
As of...
something like that, right?
Yeah, 59.
That's legit.
Yeah.
No,
perfect. Rain.
I mean, there's what I tweeted yesterday. There's models because obviously that far still in the distance. It's
still 9 days out.
There are some models that are suggesting that we could be as high as in the 80s.
I've told you this a million times.
Highs. Let's go.
Wow. Zach, I've told you this a million times. Just because they're pretty doesn't mean they can tell you what the weather's going to be.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I know that's how Rosie likes to watch his weather.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I mean, Tyra Banks is very confident in her.
Yeah, and listen, she can tell me anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially in 1997.
And if you're with Tyra Banks and it's raining, there's a place to, get out of the rain.
Well played, Hogs.
Marnie, your thoughts on that comment?
No, and she knows it's true. No, and she's shaking her head because she knows she's on the camera. But right now, if the camera wasn't on, she'd be going, you right.
She texted that.
That's how she talks.
Brilliant.
Somebody else who would probably love to stand under Tyra Banks is Alan Horton. Alan Horton covers the Wolves like a blanket. I'm so thankful that you're in California because the Power Trip Morning Show wanted somebody to cover this game. Can we get somebody in California? Well, Alan Horton is. He's the voice of the Timberwolves. Hi, Alan.
Good morning, Power Trip. What is up?
What's happening?
Marnie Gellner, Alan Horton, Marnie Gellner.
Yes, good morning, sir. It's only 6:05 in Los Angeles. That's a commitment on your part.
When you get the season opener ahead, I mean, we all know there's no time for sleep. I mean, we're 13 hours and counting from tip-off tonight, tipping off season number 36. And so it's a pleasure to be on with you guys and bring you everything from Los Angeles that Rosie is not bringing you. So, I'm just glad I could be here for you guys.
Hey, Alan, what does it mean for this team to be the second game on opening night on, national
Good
TV
question.
and all that?
It's funny. TNT went to, celebrating opening night. They used to just open on a Friday night, the league, and they'd have 8, 9, 10 games. And then in 2002, TNT started to highlight 2 or 3 games on opening night and televise them both nationally, obviously. And the Wolves have never been involved with that until now. And so they are on, they're on a bigger stage even than they were last year when they went to the Western Conference Finals. They're going to have multiple games on TNT, ABC, ESPN, NBA TV, and of course on the FanDuel Sports Network North. And so,
that's right.
got to get that shout out there, Marnie. And
appreciate it.
It's a big stage. It's huge. We're staying downtown. We're overlooking Crypto.com Arena, and on the billboards behind it, there's a video board. And already, Ant is one of the prominent ads that's playing in the background. One of his Adidas ads is playing, and so it's big time. It is big time.
So Randall, DiVincenzo, and Dillingham, rank them 1, 2, and 3 in terms of who you're most excited to see play an actual Wolves regular season game starting tonight.
It's probably Randall and DiVincenzo together. I'm eager to see what Randall can do. We only saw him once in the preseason. Starting lineup has only played about 13 minutes together the entire preseason, so a little less than ideal. But those guys have been together in practice and in training camp a ton, so not a huge concern. But I think fans are absolutely going to love Dante DiVincenzo. I think what they've seen from him in the preseason, you're just like, wow, this guy can shoot it. This guy knows how to play. He fits in seamlessly. I think fans are absolutely going to love what Dante DiVincenzo does.
Alan, I'm sure you're heading to shoot around later this morning. I don't know who you're going to sit with or talk with since I'm not there. So usually when we do our best work.
Right.
I was thinking about this game and just all of the pomp and circumstance that is coming with it and how Anthony Edwards generally rises to these occasions. He loves L.A. and the spotlight and the LeBron James and TNT and national broadcast, and it's the season opener. Should we expect to see Ant go for 50 tonight?
Yeah, it's hard not to think that way, honestly, Marty. You're right. He just rises to the occasion time and time again. And, in a couple of preseason games, he did that in New York against the Knicks and put up 31 points in the preseason game a couple of weeks ago. And that was a preseason game, but he gets himself going, and he's going to get himself going here tonight. And now that he's played with Anthony Davis and LeBron James at the Olympics, those guys are all tight now. And he wants to put on a show. And I just think it's hard to imagine him not having a big night. And he just continues to make steps every single year. He gets better and better and better. He hones his game a little more. And I think what we saw in the postseason last year from Ant, where he averaged like 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, shot it better than in the regular season. I think that is what Chris Finch and the staff are hoping for Ant for the entire season, to take that next step.
Yeah, speaking of that, the sky is the limit for Ant this season, correct? This could be an MVP season. This is a big season for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I think so. Year number 4, he continues to talk about how he's got time. He's still young, and that's all true. But there's no time like the present. And the way he's been going and the team's success that he has brought it over the last 3 years, going to the postseason, and of course the run last year, it doesn't necessarily mean that the next step is the NBA Finals and being a champion. Sometimes that path is never, a perfect line, but the expectation is there. And I thought expectations were huge going into last year. I think they're even bigger this year, and rightfully so, because I think the Wolves, with this trade with Randall and DiVincenzo coming in, are just deeper. I think between those two, Randall and DiVincenzo, you've made up the production and then some of what Cat brought. And I think you've increased your depth, and you've increased your ability to try to keep this team together long term. Still going to be an expensive product this year, but going forward, now you have some flexibility to re-sign Naz Reid or Nickeil Alexander-Walker and do some different things, going forward.
What's good, Al? It's Max. I just wanted to sticking with the subject of expectations. What should we expect from Jaden McDaniels this season? We all know his defensive prowess. He could be a defensive player of the year, first team All-Pro type guy. But what are we expecting from him offensively? Because we saw him start to get a little bit of a rhythm there in the playoffs, and now obviously with no Karl Anthony Towns, I would imagine that he's going to get a lot more touches and be involved in the offense more. So what should we be expecting from Jaden McDaniels this season?
I think a step up. I think you're right, Max. I think there's an opportunity for him to take a few more shots, to average, get his average up there, maybe closer to 15 a game. He's kind of, I think, quietly kind of been under the radar in this preseason. When you add Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo and Rob Dillingham has shown some spurts, and of course Ant with the focus on him, and with all the other talent this team has, I think Jaden kind of flies under the radar. And I thought, during the preseason, I thought he had some, especially in that Chicago game when the starting lineup was together, I thought he had a really good feel for the game. He set up Rudy a couple of times. He had some connection with Julius Randle. I think McDaniels is going to be more than just a guy who's spot up in the corner. He's going to be able to make some plays. I think there's a confidence to him. He's now in his 4th year too, so I would expect a jump from Jaden McDaniels. We know what he does defensively. You mentioned him, Max. I mean, he's now gotten, with the Wolves' success, he and the Wolves have benefited because now they're being mentioned for those awards at the end of the season. All defense is nothing to shake a stick at, and once you make it, now you've got a chance to really solidify your spot there. And I think he'll do that on the defensive end, and I think there's a jump to be made offensively.
Alan, as a broadcaster, you've been doing these preseason games. I think you did all 6, right?
5. Yep, all 5.
Oh, yeah, all 5. I did. Sorry, I'm
nice of you to care.
My God,
we should have Rosie call in.
That was my only question. Move on. No, after having done these 5 preseason games, and I did games 4 and 5, so I should know. It gets to be a long preseason, and you're anxious to see it in real life and real combinations and real minutes and all of those things that matter. As a broadcaster, just having gone through the preseason yourself, what kind of a different energy does today bring for you, knowing that it's for real this time? And you've been through this many times, but it's got to be an opening day energy on the broadcast side as well.
Yeah, there always is, because of the possibilities that what's ahead. You just don't know where this season will go, and that's the great thing about it, with any season kicking off in any sport. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody thinks they've got a chance, and now we prove it for real. And I think there is an anticipation, especially for me. Yeah, I love opening nights. It is one of 82 too. So if it doesn't go well, I think we all know there's time to correct things. But the Wolves got off to a really good. Well, they went 1-2 to start the year last year, but then went 16-2. They solidified themselves with a good start last year overall in the first couple of months. So hopefully they can do the same thing starting tonight. And the other thing that's going to be interesting tonight for the national TV audience to see is that LeBron James and Bronny James are going to take the floor together for the first time in NBA history. And Vegas is a little confused. They want to get it right from the horse's mouth. So, Sauce, how many tears are shed tonight when you see Bronny, if you can stay up late enough, if Bronny and LeBron are on the floor together? I mean, what's the over-under on tears shed?
I will sob like I've never sobbed before. It'll be such an unbelievable moment.
Those goosebumps over there?
Yeah. My hands are so sweaty. I put my hat on my hand.
Hands are full of books.
Yeah.
Real quick, Alan Horton is our guest. He's out in L.A., the only person from the fan going to the game tonight. Alan, there are a lot of people who are listening to this, maybe who aren't basketball experts like myself. So for the casual fan, how will it look different tonight when Kat is not on the roster for us?
Yeah, it's for someone who's seen, I guess during COVID we didn't travel for some games, so I guess I haven't seen every one of his games in person, but it's different. It's different. You're used to seeing the big man out there, and it was certainly weird going to New York and seeing Kat in a Knicks jersey. Something that's kind of always been rumored about, and he grew up in New Jersey and has got he loves his Yankees, he loves his Eagles, so he's got ties to that area. It is strange. And now you're seeing Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, but that's the nature of this game, is that rosters do turn over, and it's very infrequent when you see one player stay with one team for their entire career. And so, the wheels for this were kind of put in motion when the Wolves acquired Rudy Gobert a couple of years ago. And it was eventually going to become too expensive to keep everybody together. And Kat was going to be kind of the odd man out because Anthony Edwards was clearly going to be the face of the team. And you gave up a lot to get Rudy Gobert, and the trade value wasn't there. Kat was the piece because Kat is talented. Kat's got trade value, and he brought back a package that the Wolves jumped on right before training camp. So kind of caught everybody off guard with that trade, doing it quickly. And I guess looking back on it and reading some things, I guess the Knicks were motivated to do it because they couldn't have pulled this trade off in its current form once the season started, because there were some sign and trades that were executed that couldn't have been done during the regular season. So they had some motivation to try to get it done so they could pull off this deal in its current form.
Alan, before we let you go, I'm assuming you saw, if you didn't see the Lynx game, you at least saw the end. As a guy who spent years calling play-by-play on the Lynx games, can you just give us a quick reaction to Cheryl Reeves' comments and the foul called against Alana Smith at the end of regulation?
Yeah, what really bugged me was before the foul was basically a double travel on Breanna Stewart. Yeah. I mean, she traveled twice. She shuffled her feet left and right before even putting the ball on the floor. I could not believe that the travel wasn't called. That was the one that really jumped out to me. And then the foul call, I'm upset at that too, but I really thought the travel was the egregious error. But you know what? Knowing Cheryl, she's this feisty and will stand up for her team and fight for what's right. And so that did not surprise me that she had some strong comments toward the league. And as tough as this is to take, I can't help but think overall the women's game is in a really good spot. And guess what? This is what happens when you get to a big stage and one team loses in a controversial fashion. That happens, and there's. It's not all going to be praise for a league as it continues to grow. This is kind of the process too. You have to, even if it comes from poor officiating, and that becomes the talking point. That happens. That happens in the NBA. It happens in every sport that you have controversies and stuff like that. It sucks that it happened against the Lynx in that fashion. But I think overall the women's game is in a really, really good spot. If we could just figure out how not to play on Sundays, and go up against the NFL, I think the league would be in an even better spot. And games like this, where millions of people are tuning in, I think now the league has leverage to say to ESPN and ABC, hey, listen, we're not playing. We're going to dictate this. We're not playing on Sundays anymore. We want bigger audiences on days when there's no NFL football. I think that part of it has to change.
Alan, you're the best. Best of luck tonight. Watching the I believe only father-son combo at the game tonight will be LeBron and LeBron James Jr. I think those are the only two that we've heard of.
No father-sons are allowed in the building tonight.
No, not as fans.
The one that's on the floor.
So you're the best, dude. Thanks.
Bye, Alan.
You got it, man. We'll talk to you guys tonight. See you.
Alan Horton.
He's the best.
The voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
We do have Jonathan Greenard, by the way, at 8:35.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we'll come back. We'll do headlines. Greenard in like 20 minutes. More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Again, welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. Here we are. Marnie, nice job on that Shields spot. Did you know they sell, apparently, at Shields now, 7 Diamond shirts, which is my preferred brand of button-up shirts.
Yes, I have
did
a
not
couple
know
of
that.
7 Diamond things. I didn't know you knew about 7 Diamond.
It's almost what I wear exclusively on
Really?
stage. Yeah, I love them. So,
How many do you have? What do you mean?
I've got about 7 of them.
So how convenient, 7 Diamond.
I know, probably 7 of them.
I had never heard of that brand until I saw them in Shields.
I like them.
I didn't know they made I thought it was athleisure wear.
They make button-up shirts, and they are. I have a very odd shape to me, and they fit me okay.
Because you are also odd shaped?
I am very odd shaped. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm the odd shape, and the shirts are perfect. Anyway,
great.
Never mind.
Wonderful.
Hey, Marnie.
Yes, sir.
It is October 22nd. The month is
true.
almost over. The month of October happens to be Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, that it is, and we haven't talked about it yet. You guys have talked about breasts occasionally, but we have not talked about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you for giggling in the room. And you know my story. And a year ago at this time, I was still kind of getting over and in recovery from my 4th surgery from breast cancer. But thankfully, it was my 4th and final. And so I just wanted to take a quick minute to continue to remind women to get their mammograms if you are over the age of 40. And I realize we don't have women in the room here, but you all have women in your lives. So continue to support them and remind them at 40, start getting your mammograms and go every year. And I met a woman whose name is Jackie. So you hear me read my Shields ads, and about I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, I was promoting Shields Ladies Night, which is coming up in November. And I was saying, and they're donating their proceeds to a nonprofit called Vranicure. And I was like, well, that's a weird name. I don't even know what that is. Randomly at the Chaska-Chan football game 2 Fridays ago, I see this booth set up selling Chaska and Chan gear, and it says Vranicure. And so I went over and talked to this woman and met this woman. She lives in Chaska, in my community. And her last name is Vranicure, which is how the name Vranicure came about, Vranicure. And it turns out she is a woman in her early 40s who had diagnosed a handful of years ago with stage 4 breast cancer, metastatic, which means it started in your breast, but it traveled to different parts of your body. So she is healthy right now, but living with a very, very serious form of breast cancer, and the kind that kills people. And so she started this nonprofit, and an individual, a woman named Jackie, who lives in Chaska, has already raised more than $200,000 for that specific metastatic stage 4 type breast cancer. And that type of breast cancer only gets 5% of the funding. When you see the pink ribbon and the Susan G. Komen, which is also wonderful, that gets 95% of the money. I had no idea about this. I am one of those pink ribbon people and I benefited greatly from research that helped me have a better mammogram and follow-up tests and all this and that. And so I didn't become her and those types of people. And that's a hard way to look at it, but it's honestly true. And so everybody needs the funding and everybody needs the research. But I feel like that part of it is really underfunded, and those women are going through hell when they are diagnosed with stage 4 and it's metastatic. So if you are just looking to be more educated, what a wonderful time. It is October. If you're looking to maybe make a donation, consider that organization. It's called Vranicure, Vranicure. And her logo is a heart. She kind of scribbled a heart as her signature, and it became their logo. And it kind of looks like a V. So they were selling Chaska Chan gear. So I got a hoodie and a beanie, and they say Chaska. And on the side of the arm sleeve is the heart, the little signature heart that stands for Vranicure. So like that specific hoodie, all the proceeds from that went to this organization. That one woman named Jackie, who lives in Chaska and has 4 kids and is in her early 40s and is living with this nightmare, has found the time to do. And the people volunteering at the booth that are selling all the merchandise, they're her girlfriends. They just show up for 2 hours on a game night when they think they can sell some merch or have a benefit or, whatever it is they do to raise money. It's just an incredible organization of people who make a difference in this world. And I sit here and think, I got a busy day. I'm not doing crap compared to what some people do in their lives. I just have so much respect for it. So I wanted to put it on your radar. And thank you for giving me the time to do that and continue to give a hoot about your hoots.
Well
Amen.
Amen. Would you do me a favor and tell me the website or whatever it is? If we could.
Yes, it is
tweet that out if you would.
Vranicure.org. Vranicure.org. And you can know it's local if that is something that interests you versus the Susan G. Komen, which is also great. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for something specific for women dealing with metastatic breast cancer, her name is Jackie. And Vranicure.org is the website, and they're doing really wonderful things. And God bless those people.
Yeah. Well said.
And I'm thankful for my health. Holy cow!
We all are.
When you get memories on your phone. Oh, this happened a year ago. This happened a year ago. I just went through all of the. Oh, this surgery was then this, and then looking at the photos. I'm like, God, this seems like another world. And I was so. Obviously scared, but you're just like in this fog of like, oh, what's next? How am I'm coming out? What's going to be next? And then you're past it, and I'm in the clear. And it's like, oh, that was a bad dream. Only it wasn't, and I'm thankful every single day for it. So let's support the women in our lives, guys, and let's get checked.
Absolutely,
all the time, every year.
Well done.
Don't miss one.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Not easy to transition out of that into silly stuff, but we're going to. And don't forget, we have Jonathan Greenard calling in here at about 8:35, 8:40 as well, even on the short week. So cool that he's doing that.
All right, so let's do headlines until Greenard calls, and then we can finish up headlines afterwards. Sound good?
Now it's time for headlines.
Brought to you by my friends at Wolf River Electric. Go solar.
How's that going for you, by the way?
A+.
Yeah, is it
It's
easy?
awesome.
Like, do you have to do anything? I don't
No,
even
you
know.
don't have to do anything. They put the panels up.
Right.
They connect your system. And then you start saving money because I'm producing energy. It's the best.
That's sweet.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I've been meaning to ask you about this. Is there like a meter that shows like you've got this much energy?
Well, yeah, and you have and there's an app you can track how much
that's
you're
awesome.
producing and how much money you're saving and stuff. It's the best.
Here's another dumb question. Do you get more energy on a sunny day?
I haven't had it long enough really to track it, but I believe so.
You would think so.
I
I would think
that
so
it
too.
is.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the stories I'm about to bring up here about how you're kind of half paying attention. You just know it's going the right way.
Yeah, right.
Here's the one. Here's what I was going to lead with. By the way, yeah, again, thanks to Wolf River Electric. How about this? According to a new survey, 51% of American sports fans say they know more about their favorite team's record than they have saved for retirement. I can't believe it's not more than that.
They know more about their favorite team's record?
Yeah, so for example, what's the Vikings record?
5-1.
Do you know exactly how much you have in your 401k?
Oh, I see.
That's why I think the number should
Give
be.
me a minute.
That's why I think the number should be way higher because, especially with football, that's an easy thing. It's immediate. It's, we're 5-1.
You don't know your 401k daily.
No, exactly. That's kind of when Krista said, how much money are you saving or like what days? It's like, well, sure, you can check it, but it's not like I'm checking it constantly. I have a general idea how much I have saved for retirement, but I couldn't nail it like I can nail the Vikings schedule
I bet
or
you
record.
could nail your stock market portfolio almost within
every day.
$1,000 probably.
Maybe not. No.
Just because of the
Yeah,
volatility?
just because it's volatile.
I can tell
Because
you
you
what mine
check
is.
it.
What is yours?
Hawk's stock value is zero.
Yeah.
Sarah.
He's asked us for years, how do you get into that? I'm like, oh
Wait,
boy.
what? Are
What
you
did
serious?
he buy?
You don't have any?
Not individual stocks.
Okay.
He does
No,
not.
I prefer to gamble.
What did he buy Dogecoin at the highest?
He basically bought it 10 minutes before Elon did his SNL monologue, and it's been plummeting ever
Yeah,
since.
thanks a lot, Elon. You know, I actually called the stock exchange to ask if I could pay more. I
Yeah.
love buying stuff.
Yeah, he does. Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm buying Vikings gear.
Yeah.
But
Corey, how many times a day do you think you check the market?
20?
Yeah,
same.
almost every hour.
That's
At least
it's-
every hour.
I check the app on
when
the
you're
phone.
awake.
Yeah.
I don't check my E-Trade account to see how much money I've lost or made. Technically, it's just that stock's up. That like I'm just quickly taking a peek because I'm not going to do anything significant either way. That's my point about 401ks. Who checks it religiously? That's a long-term investment. Who
Yes.
cares?
Right. You're not gonna
Forget
call
about
it
it.
quits today.
Change
Yep.
anything.
No, I'm
The
not.
knowledge
I'm
of
not
how
withdrawing
much-
from my
yeah,
401k next week anyway. So what does it matter? So I check it once in a
I
while.
just like to check and see and see when the company matches it for me. It makes me so happy. And I'm like, this is
bonus.
the greatest
Hold
thing.
your breath on
I'm
that
like,
one.
this is awesome. Thank
Call
you.
bonus.
Matches it.
They did that?
They used to.
Call bonus.
Marins, this is for you. A guy in Illinois tried to buy a lottery ticket from a vending machine at a grocery store. I love that they have those lottery ticket vending machines.
Me too.
Those kick ass.
Yeah, man. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Airport
Because
for
who
sure.
doesn't love scratch offs?
Yep. But the machine malfunctioned
What?
and
My
would
dad?
not give him the one that he wanted. It's like, hey, I want that Jaws game. And they're like, it malfunctioned. It wouldn't do it. So it would only let him get one kind of a ticket. So he bought that one instead because it wouldn't let him get the one that he wanted. He won $9.2 million.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Good for him.
sweet.
That's a great story.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's
Wanted
He
the
is not
other-
mad at that vending machine
wanted
anymore,
the
is he?
Other game won 9.2.
That's sweet.
That's a
man.
nice number, too. It's a little high, but it is manageable.
You would deal with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's manageable.
A suspected drunk driver in California crashed his car onto the track of a high school during a football game.
Oh, my.
My God.
Several people, check this out, this takes an interesting twist. Several people rushed over to help him, right? Because probably immediately they might not have known that he was drunk. Maybe they thought he was having a medical episode or something, right? He turned out to be drunk. So a handful of people rush over to help him, and he started fighting with them.
Is he from Indiana?
I do love that part of the story.
Yeah.
I do.
Hey, you okay? Just swinging.
Yeah. I thought this was America.
I saw a video yesterday on Instagram Reels, and I don't know how old it was or if it was new, but a woman drove a Range Rover onto the golf course where her husband was, and she was like on the green. She came up on the regular where you would drive the car up to the clubhouse, and then she just hammered it.
Was she drunk or just mad that he was golfing all the time?
No idea.
Was she confused that they call it the driving range?
Yeah, brilliant. Well played. Good joke.
It was just shocking to see
That was
a
good.
Range Rover just plowing through a
Button bar.
green.
Or, since Rosie's not here, I'm going to assume he would just assume that she's just a terrible driver being
Yeah.
female and that she accidentally drove onto the golf course.
Yeah.
He
I
would
don't
say
think
that.
that. I'm just saying that's what he probably would have said if he was here.
Yeah,
Where
I
is
just
he?
got a text from him.
I don't
Oh,
know.
you did?
No
I got a
idea
text from
where
him said, "Told you so." That's all he said.
Oh.
Rosie.
I don't know where he is. Shouldn't he be
either.
here today?
Well,
It's
I
Tuesday.
think he'll be here tomorrow, right?
He hasn't told us. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Over the past 6 months, Americans have spent an average of $136 shopping
Hookers.
on social media.
Mike's on.
On social
Shopping
media.
on social media. So like TikTok shop?
Yeah, they got me.
I don't think I have ever bought something off of a direct link on social media.
I
I haven't either, but I
probably
have
should.
seen something
Yeah.
and then gone to like Safari and Googled it rather than going directly on that link.
Just in case you feel like it's a phishing scam thing. Yeah, that's probably
or
true.
that something can affect my algorithm or
I guess I've
don't know.
done that where it's like, that does look kind of cool. I should look into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever actually directly linked off of social media, which is weird because I'm promoting Initials Game all the time on social media, begging people to buy it. So I hope people are spending
all
money
noticed.
on social media.
Right. I don't think I own anything I didn't buy off of social media.
You love
But
social
you mean
media.
you'll see an ad for like a Seven Diamonds button-up shirt
That's
on
right.
Instagram?
Yep.
And then you'll just click on the photo itself,
Yeah,
which
that's-
takes you directly to that shirt on 7diamonds.com and you order it.
That's the process.
Yeah, he loves buying
I love it.
stuff.
I love buying stuff, man.
He sure does.
What a
I sure do.
blessing.
It is a blessing, is what I would call it. Just like I feel it's a blessing to have Jonathan Greenard on the phone right now.
Yeah, every Tuesday
Same.
on the
That's what I
Power
think.
Trip
Yeah.
Morning Show,
I'll
Jonathan
give you that.
Greenard of the Minnesota Vikings. The 5-1 Minnesota Vikings joins the Power Trip Morning Show. Hi, Jonathan. Good morning.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Jonathan, do you have a 401k, and how often do you check it?
I do. I check it every year. I know what goes into it, how much you're able to put into it, and yeah, we actually just had a meeting on that yesterday, ironically. So I must have been snooping around our locker room. So.
But see, that's how you know you're crazy rich. You have it, you check it once a year.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
That's good.
what's the point? Who cares, right?
It's all good.
It's all good. Jonathan, your squad's 5-1. A little bit of a heartbreaker against the Detroit Lions on Sunday. Let's talk specifically about your game, though. I was mentioning to Ben Lieber yesterday that you seemed to get better as the game went on. I'm not saying you played poorly in the first quarter or two, but man, the second half of that game, you seemed to be everywhere. Was there something that defensively you guys were doing differently, or just individual matchups changed? But why did you start to dominate late in that game on Sunday?
Well, I think the dynamic of the game just changed a little bit. Obviously, I think they were up 2 scores at one point when everything kind of got a little stagnant. They can kind of run their stagnant plays, run the ball, not much risky plays, so that way they can just kind of chew the clock up. But once we got it within one possession, we had the turnover. Before the turnover, we kind of sensed momentum trying to change a little bit, and we knew that their plays would have to go a little bit more aggressive just because they're trying to add on to that lead because we're now putting points on the board. But yeah, that was probably it. I would say is just knowing that it went from 23-28 in that instance, or before I got the sack, it was 28-20 when they were driving. Knowing in that 50-yard line markers when they can try to take a shot to either score or make themselves get in better field goal range. So yeah, I just kind of use that situation to my advantage and know that they'll be a little aggressive and I can get my one-on-ones.
That was one of the most electric atmospheres I've ever been a part of at U.S. Bank Stadium. Did that feel like a playoff game to you guys?
Oh, no, 100% it did. We knew that going into it. We knew that this team was going to be one of those teams that, we might play 3 times this year. So we're super excited. We knew that environment was going to be crazy. We had to feed off of it, and we did the best we could, obviously, from the environment. But, man, we knew that it was going to be one of those. We knew it was going to come down to a last possession game for sure.
Jonathan, when you are throughout the course of a game, when you are working your opponent, whoever you are, whatever offensive lineman you happen to be going against, how often will you use the same sort of move to try to get around him, try to get his quarterback, whatever? And how often are you sort of like reading him to say, okay, sometime in this quarter, I'm going to use my left arm up karate chop type of, I know you have to have moves in your bag that you use against guys, but you can't use it every time or he'll be able to defend you. How do you know when to use those and break those out?
Just a setup. I feel like, once you kind of continue to show, good thing about what I did was a little bit was show all the guys different moves early, whether it was power, speed. I kind of gave them a combination of everything. So that way when it got to that fourth quarter, and knowing the type of plays that we were running on defense also tells me what type of move I'm allowed to use just because of, where guys would be and just the schematics of things and how everything sets up. So, there's a time and place for everything. I feel like I have a go-to move based off of the guy that I'm going against that week, whether he's a guy who shoots his hands or a guy who holds his hands. I feel like I have a move for both of them. I just have to see in that time that pretty much the play of that, like, the situation, shall I say, the situation in that moment kind of alluded to the sack that I had. I kind of knew that it was going to be a passing situation and that I will be able to use the speed rush a little bit like you all see. So just knowing stuff like that within the play call, within the scheme, when you have an opportunity to use it, definitely plays a huge factor in what move to use.
In little more than 48 hours, you guys play the Rams. What are the similarities between Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, pretty similar. Obviously, no, not the Jared Goff, but one's already pretty much, going to the Hall of Fame just based off of his career and his arm talent. One of the greatest arm talents, at least I've seen in my eyes, this game is seen with Matt Stafford. And respect to Jared Goff, but I feel like Matt Stafford when he gets comfortable within the system, he starts doing those no-look throws that you all see all the time, like the reads that he can check to certain things. And I feel like the combination with him and Sean McVay, is great because you can just see that. Obviously, they're probably talking the same language during the plays, after the plays, seeing the same things, which makes it, I'm sure, easier for Sean. But yeah, Matt Stafford is a legend, a guy who the similarities, I think, for them is obviously they're more so standing in the pocket passers, try to drop the ball downfield with their arm and obviously not with their legs, but they can still kind of escape the pocket if you give them the opportunity to just, get that quick little first down or roll out steps to slide away from the rush a little bit and make that throw downfield. I feel like they both have some pretty good IQs. Obviously, in my opinion, I know that with the years that Matt Stafford has and the things he's put on tape, I would give him. I would say we have more of a challenge in that aspect because he's seen all of it and seen more ball, I would say. But yeah, I feel like the game plan for both of them are, as far as the rushing aspect, is going to be the same for sure.
Every Tuesday, Jonathan Greenard joins the Power Trip Morning Show around 8:40, and we thank you for that. We appreciate it very much. I noticed on Sunday, and forgive me if you wore it before, but I'd never noticed it before, a giant elbow brace on your arm. Is that something you wear often, number one? And number two, in the middle of the game, do you say, man, I shouldn't have done this? Do you recognize that it's there?
I've worn it before. I had it in college. Every blue moon I deal with some stuff with it, just like little nagging stuff, but obviously nothing crazy. I just wear it for more of a protective thing once I can kind of start feeling a little achiness that I've dealt with in the past. So it's kind of like precautionary stuff. But yeah, it's super annoying at times whenever you make a tackle and you slide and you got to continue to try to pull it up. And it's just one of those, like that annoying child that keep clinging to your leg and just, you're trying to get to whatever you're trying to do and they're just still holding on to you. So you got to keep picking them up and pulling them off of you. So it's one of those times. There's a love-hate relationship between it, but definitely I will be wearing it anytime I just feel like I need to protect myself. So, yeah, it's definitely something I'm used to.
Jonathan, are you or the rest of the Vikings players as obsessed with Will Reichert as the fans are?
Yes. Will the Thrill is like every meeting, that he might not say much. He'll give you this little smirky look, and we all just, die laughing. But he's just a joy to be around. Obviously, Dallas came over with him from Bama, and everything Dallas has said about him. Like I said, you can trust your life with this guy when it comes to the kicking game. And he said that from day one. And I'm like, listen, I don't care who you are. I'm not trusting the Alabama kicker just because of the past history he has, and I always give him trash for it. But man, Will Reichert, man, that dude is different. It's cold-blooded. When you look at him, you wouldn't think he has a rocket of a leg the way he does. He carries this thing. He just, he carries himself with so much poise and maturity that you would not even know that he's able to do the things that he does. But sure enough, when we call his number, Will's always there. So the whole team loves Will. We know what he's about. And we know that to have that as a kicker on your team, man, it's amazing. I've been on that side. And when you have a great kicker, you know that you can do a lot more things and be more aggressive at times. So you know he'll be able to do a lot of things to bail you out.
With your own eyes, what's the longest field goal you've seen him kick in practice, just screwing around?
Oh, man. He had that 58, I believe, something like that in practice, that we've seen. And we know that he still had leg on it. Like, it said a lot of distance on it. So, and Will likes to tame his legs, too. He'll make a kick look like he barely made it there for like a 56, just to say, I barely got it there. And then come out the next time, kick that same 56, and it's like 10 yards further where he could have made it. So, honestly, I don't know what his range would be. I don't know what's the furthest he could kick it. I'm genuinely curious to see it one day eventually. But, man, to have that type of accuracy and power must pop from the kick that he has, man, it's amazing to see for sure.
Good luck Thursday. You guys have been absolutely dominant in that first quarter, right? Outscoring your opponent, something like 58-3. So let's get that nice defensive start on Thursday against the Rams and find a W. Good luck, dude.
Will do. Appreciate y'all for having me again.
All right, Jonathan Greenard of the Minnesota Vikings every Tuesday on the Power Trip Morning Show. That dude's the best.
He's been a delight.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
He really
love
has.
that guy.
Yeah.
I texted Saucy early in the game because I could see him messing with his elbow guard right away. And I remembered, and this is so dumb, but high school football, the black masks, like the tent that you can wear on your face mask. We got them, and they were a brand new thing, and they looked super cool. So I threw one on before a game. Had never worn it before. About halfway through the first quarter, I was sweating so hard I couldn't see anything. So I couldn't. They had to rip the thing off, and and I was watching him messing with his elbow padding, wondering if he's regretting right now. I wore this big clunky thing, and then he played the rest of the game with it. So anyway, that's why I asked that question. But man, maybe experiment with a face mask before you walk out on the field with it, especially if you sweat as badly as I do.
Dude's dominant.
Lessons learned.
Yeah,
Lessons learned.
He's very good.
Yep.
He's a good dude, man. I like that guy.
All right, a couple of other rando things here, headlines related. A high-speed chase in Utah hit speeds of 189 miles an hour.
See, now we're talking. You want to rob a bank. I want to be in high speed.
Yeah, Robin's racing.
Utah is
right,
the perfect place for that.
It really is, man.
How about kill two birds with one stone?
Yeah.
You're the getaway driver. You can go 189.
And I
Why
do
is
hate
Utah
birds.
perfect for that?
Just like open roads, flat. You can see for miles and miles and miles. And
Do
yeah,
they have a lot of banks I could rob, like in the salt flats?
there might be. You might be able to find some like old prospector with some gold.
Whoa. Prospector.
Interesting. I wonder if I could use Hawk's 189 mile per hour getaway as the decoy, where there's nothing in that car, but I convinced Chris to drive away, and you don't even know you're a part of the distraction.
Yeah,
All you got to do is ask, buddy.
Yeah, tell him there's a
You know what you
casino
gotta do?
on the other side.
Tell me that I can't go that fast.
Yeah.
So
Tell me iHeart doesn't want me to go fast.
Right. So me and the entire heist team were just standing on the corner with the loot. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
of
Hell
course.
And I just go, Chris, bet you $10 you can't get this car up to 189.
Oh, yeah?
And then every cop in town chases him, and we go the other direction.
Yeah.
Genius.
If you break
all three of
190,
them.
we don't have to pay an iHeart Radio concert festival promo ever again.
Here we go.
He breaks the speed of sound.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
An elderly woman, don't know how old,
Okay.
but Rosie thinks she's 34. An elderly woman has been accused of fatally shooting a man in the groin.
Yeah, man.
Here's the part that made the news.
What a
though.
mess.
She didn't think the gun was loaded, and she did it after she claims that he jokingly requested that she shoot him.
Okay.
So he joked.
You shouldn't joke about stuff like that.
He joked
don't
about
do
it.
that.
She chooses the groin. I don't know if that was his idea or
Yeah,
hers.
he's into it.
She didn't know the gun was loaded. Shoots him in the groin. He bleeds out.
Oh, buddy.
Whoops.
You got to watch this.
This is exactly like that Florida
just
Man
like the Florida
episode.
show.
It's exactly
It's
a
Florida
very
Man.
similar incident. Yeah.
You got it. You can't believe it. Martin, this show, have you ever seen Drunk History?
No.
Okay, so they hire actors to, it doesn't matter. So, and this show is called It's Florida Man, and they have news stories out of Florida, and they reenact them with real actors. You know, the ridiculous stories. And the first episode, this guy hires this other guy to eat 3 of his toes. And you can't believe it. It's so ridiculous, man.
It's so ridiculous. Like you cannot ever think where the story is going to go. It's completely unpredictable.
It's on Max.
3 of his
It's,
toes.
it's
Did he-
only half hour long. It's really worth it. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Did he chew him off the foot?
I
or did
don't
he?
want to ruin it for you, but it's hilarious.
Yucky.
It's really funny. It's really well done.
Marty, how much money to eat a toe? Eat a human toe?
I can get you a toe.
Yeah, with nail polish.
50 grand.
So one of yours?
How about
Yeah.
professionally cooked? Like we go down to Manny's and they cook it up as best they can. So it's cooked $50K to eat a human toe, yes or no?
Sure.
Toy?
Yes.
would?
Yes.
That's
50
disgusting.
grand?
That's cannibalism.
Well, I mean,
50 grand.
if it's the pinky and it's only a nub,
I would do that.
Rosie.
Maybe.
It's funny. That's how sauces Friday nights go.
You know what?
Same mentality.
you
If
were
it's the
obsessed
pinky,
with me.
well, I
I'm
get
just
nothing else in my life.
You know what's weird?
Oh, yes, you
I'm more likely to eat their toe than I am to chew their toenail while it's still attached to their foot. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the toe things, that's bad. But toenail chewing,
If you could
gross.
take it like a pill,
You can just swallow
it
the
whole?
toe.
Yeah.
So you just don't want to chew the toe. You want to
which I
swallow. it.
imagine would be horrible for your stomach, right? 'Cause
and your
it's all-
breath probably.
You've had
Antifreeze.
You've had
Well, I
worse.
know,
in
but
your
there's a
stomach.
bone in there, so breaking down that bone,
Well, I mean, animals eat other animals and, bones and all.
I suppose.
It works. We'll figure it out. I mean, sure, when I eat sunflower seeds whole, it's basically like Freddy Krueger or a porcupine's coming out the other side, but still.
That's your king.
It's a great story. I still love that. That's
Man,
the most
about
fun.
once a year I fall for that trap.
It's not a trap. You do it to
Yeah.
I
yourself.
know, I do it to myself. I convince
one is
myself
making you
it's
do it.
not going to be bad. And then basically it's his bad. It's like a kid trying to climb over a barbed wire fence.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
Oh, gross.
Oh Lord.
Man, those things are good.
No,
Seeds
they're
and all.
Not that good, buddy.
The seed out.
correct. It's the seed, the sunflower
Spit
seed.
the seed out.
Yeah, let's not go that far.
Eat just the shell?
The shell, sorry.
Spit the seed out.
The kettle,
Don't be a quitter.
the giant kettle, kettle kettle roast, giant sunflower seed. Oh my!
Have you ever eaten
like
the shells though too? Buckle up if you do.
No, because you don't. Because
No, because it hurts.
Because I'm an educated, evolved human.
What the hell's that
But
supposed to
even
mean?
just sucking on the shell to get the salt and the sweet, and
Wherever the hell
Kettle
Rosie
roast.
is, he is sweating right now.
Yep. He just put his phone down and went, "Thank you."
Yep. Marlins, you're the best. What's the name of that website again for the breast cancer?
Vranicure.org.
Vranicure.
VRANICURE.org here in October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, if you're looking for information or a place to donate.
Quickly, 2 questions. When can people see you on TV? When's the first Wolves broadcast?
Thursday, Wolves at Sacramento. And then we'll also have the home opener on Saturday against Toronto. I will be defending initials on Friday.
Yes.
Sore Hawks. Football tonight. Volleyball Thursday. Let's go.
All right. She's the GOAT. That's Marnie Gellner. Thanks to Jonathan Greenard. Thanks to John Bonus. Thanks to Alan Horton. More of the Power Trip tomorrow, 5:30 until 9 to noon is probably next.